Hey everyone, welcome back to the Leader's Edge. I'm Steve Steele with my guest co-host Anupama Kinatukara, featuring our special guest, your one and only Ernelita Dacumos. Ernie, it was a very special segment in the very beginning. You told us a little bit about your coming to America and all the different things that you were challenged with coming here, and a little bit about your book. But Anupama, you had something you wanted to ask Ernie right before we went to break.
Yes, we did talk about the chapters starting with do. But what's after the do? So tell us a little bit about what's in the book, Ernie. You have about 10 chapters in the book. So tell us a little bit about each of those chapters and then we'll dive deeper into a couple of them.
Yes, I would love to. Like Anupama, what you said, each chapter started with the word do itself. And the reason being, it's a coaching question. It's
Mm,
all coaching questions for me. The first chapter asks, do you know you? And what that means is, do you know what makes you tick? What makes you smile? What makes you
mm,
laugh? What makes you sad? Knowing
mm.
about you is self-awareness,
Okay.
right? Do you know what you
Mhm.
want to do, or do you know what you are meant to do, which is the second chapter, and that is your purpose.
Mm,
Chapter 3 is, do you know the people around you? Now, why is this in the book?
mm,
Knowing the people around you can mean two things. Are these people empowering you, or are these people draining your energy?
mm,
Right? And
mm-hmm.
it's important and it's imperative when it comes to gaining your self-confidence. Chapter 4 is what we kind of touched on earlier, which is, do you love you?
Mm.
And I don't have to explain that, but chapter
Yep.
5 is, do you prioritize yourself? We don't do this.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
actually selfish, but it's imperative. Chapter 6 is, do you have a secret to partner forced my arm and twisted it?
Yes, I'm
He wants to
sorry.
talk about it. Do you have a secret to?
Yeah,
We
I do.
will.
I
I will
do.
not give that
Yep.
one away.
We'll come back to that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Chapter 7 is, do you forgive you? This is my favorite chapter.
Mm,
And just to give a snippet of it, I started the chapter with my morning in San Diego, writing a book, not writing a book, writing a letter to myself, asking myself to forgive me.
mm,
Wow.
Chapter 8 is, do you trust you?
mm-hmm,
Chapter 9 is, do you know you are confident?
mm.
And chapter 10 is, do you know your worth? And there's a twist on chapter 10, as each
Mm.
chapter is meant for you to take action. But the last chapter is a twist, and you have to buy the book to actually learn what that
Yeah.
twist
We're
is.
not going to give the twist
Oh,
away.
you're not going to give us a secret away. All right.
No.
All right. Well, let's dive into chapter 4. Do you love you? Ernie,
Hmm.
when I listen to that, and I ask myself that question, I have to be very honest with you. There's days I don't love me very well. I'm being very vulnerable. And you know that on this show, I have vulnerable moments. And I ask myself that question, and I don't always say that. Do I love me? So, and I know that part of that, Ernie, is, accepting yourself, setting boundaries. And you talked about it earlier when I asked the very first question, because it kind of got a little bit into this. The longest relationship you have in life is with you. So, Ernie, how do you accept yourself? How do you
Uh,
do that? Because it's tough sometimes.
I love the quote that I use on the chapter. It's by Christina Henson, and it was written, your love for yourself sets the standards for others,
Mm,
Mm,
right? How
yeah.
do you love yourself? It's the same thing as how we love our kids, our partners. There's things that annoys you. There's things that makes you mad. There's things that you do not like about them, but we still love them despite, right? It's not accepting the perfect side of yourself. It's also accepting the bad things. Hence, the book is started with, do you know you? Once you have that self-awareness, the self-acceptance takes place, and you have to learn to love yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Mm.
right? the
Yeah.
good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what we have to love within ourselves. I highlight this because we are our own worst critic. We bully ourselves every single day. And
Yeah.
now my question is, how is it serving you? How does bullying yourself serving you? Is it
Mhm.
giving you the results that you want? Or is it actually taking you away from those?
Mm.
But on days when you are beaten, when you have failed, when you felt like you've struggled so much, and then the voices that are going in your head is,
I get it. Mm.
who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Are you enough? How is that serving
Yeah.
us? Right?
Mhm.
But once you have learned to shift that and love yourself despite, yes, you may have made a mistake. Yes, you may have struggled today. Yes, you may have failed. But guess what? You're still standing. What are you going to do about it today? How can you improve from this mistake? How can you improve from this failure? You're still showing up. See the difference?
Yeah.
It's so degrading when we question, when we tell the negative self-talk to ourselves, but when you actually show compassion within yourself, it's more empowering. And a lot of times we have to start within in order for us to go out in the world and show other people the same thing. Because when we are hurt, we hurt other people intentionally or unintentionally. It does happen. Hurt people, heal people, heal people.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
I
Annie, it does sound like something deep within is speaking out. Would
Yes.
you be open to sharing with us a little bit more about your own personal life? Like, where did this all come from? Why do you think you started bullying yourself? Was someone bullying you first and then it became part of you, or it
that's a
just.
that's a good question.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Well,
a good question.
I would love to share something that I don't share. I have been divorced, right? And that divorce. So, just a little bit of a background. You're talking to a woman who had inferiority complex, who does not have a confidence in herself. And just like what Anupama said earlier on my bio, I used to stutter when I have to speak in front of people. And I was married to at a very young age. So a woman who does not have the confidence in herself had to go through divorce. The little confidence that I have shattered,
Hmm.
right? So the thought when you have gone through divorce, the thought that's going through your mind is, why am I going through this? Am I not enough?
Hmm.
Right? The biggest one for me is, am I not enough?
Hmm.
Not for myself, but for the other individual. And sometimes when we are in relationships and we don't to love ourselves enough, we stay on those relationships longer to a point where it's damaging,
Hmm.
right? So it's coming from a personal relationship of myself. And after the divorce, I have gotten to toxic relationships and I lost myself entirely.
Hmm.
So that's where it came from.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to this. I mean, there's things that I'm hearing for the first time in some ways because I know you very well, but in a lot
Yes.
of ways, you've told me some of these stories before, and I'm hearing it from a different perspective because I've read the book and I'm understanding what you actually mean and what you're trying to share, what you're trying to give people. It is amazing. Ernie, let's get to the point where we talked about. Let's talk about forgiving ourselves
Oh.
because I have to be honest with you. I mean, um, I don't always do that well either. I'm a mess sometimes, and I don't always do that very well. I don't necessarily forgive myself. I mean, we all make mistakes. We all do things. We all wish we could do things better,
Yes.
but that builds up if we don't forgive ourselves, and that piles up on us, and then we bully ourselves even more, and it just becomes this crazy spiral effect.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do about that?
Yes. And I think it's more so of recognizing that we're talking about ourselves in this book. And this is what we're talking about on this show. But I'm sure a lot of listeners are saying, well, that's a little selfish, Ernie, don't you think? Actually, it is. And you deserve to be selfish sometimes. I'm not going to shy away from that. You deserve to be selfish because you matter too. Right? So, how do we forgive ourselves? In the book, I want to jump in on my favorite chapter, which is how do you forgive you? And there's a strategy in there that I shared on chapter 6, but I want to apply it on chapter 7 in forgiving. There is a process that Hawaiians used, and it's called the Ho'oponopono process. Anupama, I love this concept.
Because
It
I can't
is
say it like you do.
I can't either. Or
Say
you
that
asked me
again.
to say it.
You have to say it again.
Yes, Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono process. And it's actually their strategy of forgiveness. And you can apply this to the people that has hurt you, the people that has brought damage into your life. But at the same time, the most powerful thing that this process brought me was applied it to myself. The Ho'oponopono process has 4 phrases that we have to say. I am sorry, forgive me, thank you, and I love you. For me, it's I am sorry for carrying all the emotions, all the pain that I have gone through, I have experienced in my life. Forgive me because I have chosen to move on and live my life from here. Thank you for all the life lessons. And I love you because from these experiences, I have realized that I am stronger than I think that I am. And I am the woman that I am today.
Mm.
See how powerful those things?
Yeah.
We
Wow.
beat ourselves up. We again bully ourselves that we carry all these emotions, all these grudges, all these pains that is not serving us. But if we actually release that and let our hair down, I'm just making light to the situation because it's a little deep, but we are actually letting ourselves release, heal from all those past experiences. That's how we can live our lives. It's not a burden that we have to carry. It carried you for all these years.
Yeah.
You have to let it go.
Yeah. You know, Ernie, what you're saying is forgiveness is not for others. It's really for you.
Exactly. It is.
Right.
It's not for others. It's
And
not.
we get that
It's for
concept.
you.
And because we have the tendency, if we forgive them, and if we ask forgiveness from a person, then we're saying that we want to be accepted by them, and we don't even accept ourselves. Right. So
Powerful.
when I think about this forgiveness, when you do this, when you forgive yourself, it builds self-worth in you. It builds worth in you. And I want to read something that you wrote in the book that touched me, and it meant a lot. And you wrote this in the chapter that we're actually talking about, chapter 4. You said, "My dear, dwelling on your past will not fix you. You cannot decrease your value based on someone else's inability to see your worth. You've got to move on."
Yes.
Talk to me about that, or just talk to me about that.
Ooh, okay, so this is making me emotional because it's very. I'm very passionate as I read as I wrote these chapters. During my divorce, I lost the full worthiness and confidence in myself. That the quote, "Misery loves company." I love writing poems, and that's what I did. I wrote poems that expresses my emotions, how I feel, and they're all negative. They were all negative. And I was posting it on social media. Little did I know that someone was watching. And this is for everyone. One person is always watching. Little did I know that someone was watching. And this man became a very good friend of mine. And he messaged me one day and he said, "My dear, dwelling on the past will not heal you. You cannot decrease your value because of someone's inability to see your worth. You have to move on." And when he said that, that was my turning point. Am I a battery charger or am I a battery drainer for people? I was a battery drainer. I was draining people's energies and I am not impacting others. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So it
That's beautiful.
shifted. I had to make a change.
Wow.
Tony, we have just a few minutes left before the break. But I would like to know, I know chapter 6 talks about do you love you, where you do talk about forgiveness. Then why did you have a completely new chapter on do you forgive you? What
Mm.
was so important that you had to reiterate and emphasize it in a separate chapter by itself?
So self-love is accepting who you are, right? Learning the things, realizing the things that we do in ourselves. And then do you forgive yourself is more so of once you have accepted it, there's another step to it, which is releasing the negative things, which is forgiveness.
Mm.
There's a lot of things that we just accept, but we don't really recognize if it's damaging or if it's helpful for us.
Mm.
The forgiveness is the release, the healing that we need to have in order to move past it. There is actually when I was doing a coaching or with a coach, there's an activity that she had me do, which is imagine yourself today and imagine the person who you want to become, and do that in two different colors. The black one, and to me, it's green. The person I want to become is green. It's my favorite color. I mean, there's no science behind that. So when I did that activity, the black is all the negative self-talk, all the struggles, all the pain that I have in my life. And then she said, combine them together, but make sure that the green color overpowers the black. Because once you have forgiven yourself, that's when you feel healed. That's when you feel at peace, right? But it's also still a part of yourself. It's not healing and then forgetting about the past. It's like who you are today because of those teachings and struggles that you faced.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's
we
not.
will have to take a break, but Ernie shared with us a little bit about do you know you? Do you love you? We are going to hear a little bit secret from her because one of her chapters talks about do you have a secret too? What does that too mean? That means she's going to first share her secret with us and then we can ponder over our own secret. So when we return, we will be right back and we will be listening to Ernie talking about chapter 6, which is Do You Have a Secret Too?